Hey guys, what is up? This is Matt. Today with me once again. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. This time is going to be on Chainsaw Man the movie, the Reze Arc. Or Reze Arc, or the Reze, whatever. I might as well bring this guy out since, it's Chainsaw Man. But, yeah. Of course, with how popular Chainsaw Man has become, of course, it would have to get its own adaptation on the big screen as well. And this movie, Denji returns as a girl comes into his life named Reze, and throughout the movie, he is, kind of split whether he should fall in love with her or not, because his heart belongs to this other girl, but once they start forming a relationship, things start crumbling much later on. And in this film, it's pretty much a battle between love and saving the world. Now, when it comes to Chainsaw Man, well, of course, with how massive it has become, I mean, despite the fact that this little guy was only in one episode, and there's a reason behind that, but I'm not going to get into it because it's way too heartbreaking, but it's pretty much why, Denji became Chainsaw Man. And you know exactly what to expect when it comes to a Chainsaw Man movie, how it ties into the anime, the fact that, even if you haven't watched the anime, I do feel like, for newcomers, you can still watch the film just for some pure entertainment, but also really getting invested with the storyline a little bit. Of course, the experience will be a lot better if you have seen the anime, and for someone who has, yeah, it pretty much gave me what I expected. Though most of the mayhem doesn't really happen until during the second half of the movie, so yeah, expect a lot of will they, won't they moments throughout the film in terms of the relationship they tend to have, but without getting into any spoilers. I don't know how I can, talk about this movie without bringing up spoilers, because there are times where I mention something that I try not to make it out to be a spoiler, but ends up being a spoiler. So yeah, without going into any spoilers, well, I know one thing that isn't a spoiler. It's the fact that, it's chaotic when it comes to its action, because with a title like Chainsaw Man, you know exactly what to expect when it comes to the mayhem and the carnage that comes to the action. And when it's on screen, it manages to satisfy fans. And before I go any further, I should also mention the fact that I saw this movie in 3D, which I was actually kind of curious about, knowing that this movie was going to be in 3D and it's anime, even though this isn't like a full 3D anime film like Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Nah, it's the same traditional anime. I also saw the subbed version because the dubbed versions had later show times, so I just decided to do the sub version. But it was interesting when it came to the 3D. It's nothing super special, but for the most part, it did work. It's also playing in IMAX, which I feel like that's where most people are going to go into the movie, seeing it on the biggest screen possible, and it is definitely worth it alone for that experience. If you came here for all the carnage while also having an investing storyline to tie in with the anime, it makes me all excited what there is more to come, because we know that, with how many episodes Chainsaw Man has brought already, we know that there's going to be a lot more later on. I mean, with Spy Family already having a movie and that show still continuing on. So yeah, I can only imagine where the anime can go from here. Other than the pacing in the beginning, there really isn't a whole lot of other things involving the movie that I could criticize or, nitpick, because when it comes to, the anime itself, it's so much fun. It's so bizarre that, all of it can be pretty forgiving. I will say, though, there are some times where, there were some other characters from the anime that I kind of would have liked to have seen as well. But other than that, if you came here for, a good tie-in to the anime, as well as, anticipating what exactly comes next, because there is an after-credits scene, but it isn't like a cliffhanger of what there is to come. It's just there purely for entertainment, and I do appreciate for that. And in the end, guys, Chainsaw Man, I feel like will definitely satisfy fans, because when it comes to, anime series, big screen adaptations, they almost usually always satisfy, fans of the anime, because with this film, it gives you exactly what to expect. Pure bloody carnage, while it does take a little time to, build up to all that. But I really like the connection that they started having at first, and, the fact that it changes much later on. Yeah, it's pretty satisfying when it does get to what to expect, because the animation is absolutely dazzling. This is a really solid adaptation of, what the anime brought and bringing it to the big screen. And the fact that, it's not really fully necessary to watch the anime. Like, it does give you, like, a little glimpse of what happened. Just not too much exposition. So, yeah. It can be helpful if you have seen the anime, but, you can still watch it for pure mayhem and pure, brutal carnage, as well as, some wackiness here and there. But still, it was still all around a bloody fun time, and fans will not be disappointed. I'm actually surprised I was able to squeeze this one in, because I am really looking forward to seeing Shelby Oaks. And, what was that? Oh yeah, there was that new Emma Stone movie, Begonia, or whatever it's called. For some reason, it's not playing in a theater near me yet. I guess it's one of those, limited releases where, it comes out a week in select theaters, then more theaters later on. However, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is playing in a theater near me this weekend, so I will definitely see that as well. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and maybe subscribe for more. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or maybe Blue Sky. Links in the description, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.